Hello and welcome everybody to Flicker Effect episode 324, right? Yes, 324. Sure. I'm David Lotz. Joining me for this is Bobby Jackson.
Hey, what's up? Long time no hear.
It has been a while. Also with us, Yasha Wilson.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Oh, it's going. That's all I got. It's just going.
Everybody alive.
We are here. And also Michelle Hillard.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
For those of you joining us live on YouTube, welcome. If you have any questions or comments while we're doing the show, Michelle over there is manning the console. She can maybe
Nobody can see that I'm pointing to it.
She can read your questions and comments.
But I can.
Maybe we'll respond here on the air. Mm-hmm. This is kind of a wing it episode because everything is just so out of sorts. Which is funny. You would think, oh, we have so much time to just be at home, and I could have totally, built an entire professional studio in here by now, but
Things
no.
are out of sorts? No way. The world is in chaos? No.
What are you talking about? First, we've been on a little hiatus. We've had to miss a couple weekends, but we're back, and that's where we are right now. So, how's it going, guys?
How's California?
How was California?
Oh, California is fine, but let's really talk about how Florida is still partying and having their spring break still go on during the midst of all this. So, let's talk about you guys falling into line and just holding it down just a little bit, for the health and safety of the world.
All those people that are partying are not Floridians.
I was gonna
those
say,
are all the people visiting from other places coming here.
those are youngins coming in from other places because they've already spent their little money they have to come do their vacation here, and they're coming hell or high water. And I do get it, but it's anyways. I will say the partying is not the Floridians. Yeah, like in Orange County, we actually are under a curfew. We have an 11 p.m. to 6 a.m.
I think it's 5 a.m.
5 a.m. curfew, and all restaurants are mandatory carry out all throughout the whole state. That's statewide. Yeah, so I mean, we're not partying here.
But you guys are on a full on shelter in place order, right?
As far as we're on lockdown, do not leave your house type of situation.
You're either going to the doctor or you're getting food.
Yeah, it's one of the two. You're not supposed to be out just kind of milling around or anything like that. Shannon and I went for a walk earlier today, and that was literally just to kind of get some exercise. But every person that we came in contact, which we did see quite a few people out, it was very much walking around an invisible bubble so that you maintain that 6 feet of social distancing that they want you to do. So
from what I understand, and maybe I'm misinformed as well, but we're not technically in a shelter in place or a lockdown. It's just a safe stay at home kind of thing, which I guess there's some sort of technical differences between them all. But basically, certain businesses are still allowed to operate. I know where I work is still allowed to operate, and we're allowed to go in to the workplace, but they suggest that we work from home if possible. And we are allowed to go out, and like Gasha said, you can go on walks or whatever. A lot of businesses are closed that aren't deemed necessary, and there's other places that are needed that are still open, like the supermarkets and gas stations, laundromats, stuff like that. So it's not like somebody is patrolling the streets making sure we don't come out of our homes or anything like that. But yeah, it's just trying to mitigate the spread as much as possible by, I guess, trying to hope that people are on their best behavior and adhering to the idea of, I think the main general rule is try not to be gathered within an amount of 10 people per gathering, less than 10, and if possible, just being at home as much as possible without gathering at all, really. And so it's kind of difficult because you can do that only for so much if you isolate and stay at home, but then there's no way to not do that when you go out and go get groceries because everyone's there. So I don't really know how that really helps in a way, because at some point everybody's got to go back out and get some stuff. And yeah, you may be coming in contact with someone who is at least sort of incubating it and could pass it on to you if they're not actually sick. So it's kind of difficult, but I mean, hopefully, I guess most people have enough so that they don't have to go out for a little while and can help lower the potential risk of passing it on to someone else. So I think people, for the most part, are being pretty good about it. I went for a walk the other day in a nearby park, and everyone was doing the whole social distancing thing, and it wasn't a ton of people there. It was, you know, a lot of elderly people, I think, taking walks and stuff, and everyone seemed extra nice. Everyone was like, seemed to be saying hello and stuff like that. Like, you know, just maybe missing that other social contact with other human beings made everyone seem a little bit nicer. I mean, and that's in the park, because when you go to the store, people seem to be like, you know, out for themselves in a way because of the hoarding and all the shelves being so empty and everything. So that's a little weird when you go to the store. It feels very much like it's an apocalypse, because when you go to the store and see shelves that bare, was for things that people don't generally eat. I mean, it's stuff like, you know, even the bottom of the barrel stuff that you would think would be left on the shelf for no one to grab is gone. And so it's kind of weird in that way. But aside from that, everyone seems to be doing a good job of it. I don't think I've seen anything, and Yasha, you might have, can speak on it, but I don't think I've seen anything like how you guys had with the whole beach thing, where people are at the beach when they shouldn't be, or in places gathering to that degree. I don't think I've seen that.
No, I think we're unique in that situation. I think it's unfortunate too, like when I feel like Florida always gets attacked for everything.
Yeah.
And it's I mean, I feel like if we had the situation of a spring break atmosphere anyway in a lot of other states, they'd probably be running into the same thing if they didn't have more strict orders. I mean,
Right.
there's no doubt. I know I joked earlier, like, oh, this is just a bunch of people from out of state coming to visit, which I think is mostly true.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously you would think that the state, the governor, without getting into politics, would have, you know, more quickly
Close the beaches.
close the beaches. I mean, when it comes to Disney World closing the way they did, where it's not like with Disney World just closed immediately. They, you know, announced they were
closing
closing in a few days. In one sense, it's like, well, why did I understand the questioning of why did they wait a few days? Why wasn't it more immediate? But Disney World's also not like Disneyland. Disney World is a huge resort with a ton of hotel resorts on property, tons of guests here already. I think it's a little different to just say, hey, all of you people who are already here in the middle of your vacation, we're closing right now. Like,
Yeah, get
you
out
know,
of here.
it's more, okay,
Yeah.
we're going to close in like 3 days. You know, that's now
Yeah.
there's also the argument, because there was a lot of those pictures out there of the fireworks and the crowds that one last night at the Magic Kingdom, post fireworks or pre fireworks, whatever it was. And everyone being like, what the fuck, you know? And also, it is a little like, what the F, but, you know, I guess you could argue, like, why, even though the park was open, maybe they could have been like, well, we're not going to do fireworks tonight, to kind of keep a ton of people from gathering right in front of the castle
Right,
in a
right.
mass. But at the same time, I mean, the park's busy anyway. If you're in the park, you're you're in that atmosphere basically all day long. Like,
Right. I mean, yeah, we are under a crisis here, but at the same time, like, I get it. People have spent years planning these vacations. Thousands of dollars have gone into these vacations. Like, this is, you don't just wake up and go, I'm driving to Disney World for the weekend. Most people spend years planning these things out. So, yeah, like Disney said, we're closing the theme parks in 3 days. And then they were closed, I think, for the Sunday, right? And then on Sunday, they announced that on Wednesday, they were closing the resorts and all of the restaurants and all of the shops that were Disney owned and operated for Wednesday. So they even were like, we're going to give you 3 days so you know that's happening. So
yeah,
they
basically
did it.
shutting down the property.
Yeah, they did it in phases, which I think was smart. They almost have to because there's people that were going, okay, well, I guess we're going to get our park days in, and then we'll have a few days left to go shopping, and then we'll just hang out in our hotel room, and then we're going to figure out how to move our flights from Friday to Wednesday.
Right.
You know, that's what they did, you know, and
It seems like they did a very manageable situation with Disneyland. It's just like, you know, like you said, it's just like, okay, heads up, guys. Like, this is real. Like, this is a thing. This is what's happening. This is what we have to do. So guess what? We are closing. We're giving you enough time to kind of like make some adjustments in your flight, contact the airlines. Pretty sure they're aware of it, and I'm pretty sure they're going to work with you.
right.
Right.
But no, I don't think that Florida is the only place that has this is going on. Like, as crazy as it sounds, I saw footage of Bondi Beach in Australia, and I'm talking thousands of people are covering Bondi Beach right now, and I think it's locals, from what I understand from some of the interviews I saw in the news report, and some of it's vacationers. But the locals are just like, dude, it has already been a year from hell for us. These fires, and now this, and the weather's nice, and so because for them it's kind of like wintertime. Or no, wait, it's summer. It's flipped. Yeah. So they're like, we're ending our summer on this note of this, and so they're like, you know, everybody's just coming out to the beach, and I get it to an extent, but I also am like, oh, you really should go home. You know, the one guy was like, I just came to get some fresh air for 30 minutes, and I walked down to the beach from my house and was like, whoa, there's a lot of people here, and whoa, they're not just like getting fresh air. Like, they're not just stepping out to get fresh air and then kind of head back home. They've got, you know, their coolers and their blankets, and he's like, and these are locals. He's like, I can see these are Aussies.
Right.
And he's like, I don't understand it either. He's like, I literally just wanted some fresh air. That was it. He was not anticipating encountering thousands of people on Bondi Beach. I don't know. So I don't think it's just Florida. It is everywhere. There's people that are just, I don't know. There's really no, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, but that's me.
I hope you guys didn't feel like I was attacking you. I was more kidding with my
Oh, no.
comment.
No.
So
I wasn't out on the beach.
No, I wasn't on the beach either. No, I think
your
it's
home.
I think it's the perception of a lot of things that Florida is we're always the ones that are like, yeah, whatever, because it's always, you know, like a Florida man today. And
Yeah.
Oh, well, no. I
just
mean,
how
you
it
guys
is.
are batshit crazy down there. That goes without
Right,
saying.
exactly.
You know, there's
No,
that.
exactly. So
You know? I'm kidding.
Well, we have plenty of entertainment to watch while we're home.
we do so many
But
things.
the question is, David, are you watching it?
I did.
Because
I watched Onward last
there's
night.
plenty of time that you like have these moments to watch things, and
Why do I do
you
this
just
show?
blatantly ignore it. Like I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Didn't we finish the series the other night finally?
What did we finish? I don't even remember.
Was it Daredevil?
Oh, wow.
We're caught up with Picard,
That's what it was. We caught up on Picard.
and I'm digging it. Picard, I've liked basically overall from the beginning. There was a kind of a couple episodes or more in the middle of the season where I was like, okay, it's kind of, this one was not great and this one wasn't great. But then it ramped up for me, and I'm really liking it. I will say this though, so we're caught up. The most recent episode was episode 9. I think it is a 10 episode season, right?
Yeah, and this episode's a two-parter.
Right. It was episode 9 was like part 1 of 2. Directed by Akiva Goldsman, if I remember correctly. I wasn't a huge fan of it. Like, there was something about the style of that that episode that didn't do it for me. So I'm a little bummed that that's what we're also going to kind of get out of the season finale, because overall I really like the show, but that episode, I don't know.
It's funny you say that. I was thinking that when we were watching it. Like I've been into Picard since it started, and I've been pretty down with it. But I'll say, yeah, this last episode, I don't know what happened. It kind of, in a way, I almost felt like I was watching a Next Generation episode. Like, but not in a good way. It was like the way the story was unfolding. I was like, this is paced out in that way. And I'm not hating on Next Gen. That's what I grew up really watching, was Next Gen. And I love Next Gen. I've watched it multiple times. But there was something about it and the way it unfolded the story. I don't know. It was weird. There was a weird vibe to it, and I was not digging in on it because I felt like it was such a shift from the way the other episodes had been going. Their style, the pacing, all of it. Like it was just a way different episode, and I was like, I'm not feeling this.
Have you guys been watching it?
I haven't.
I have.
So, mind the spoilers, please. Just because I haven't gotten a chance to yet.
Oh no, we were not going to talk about
All right,
spoilers.
that's better.
Okay, I'm just throwing it out there.
No. We haven't
Heads
spoiled
up.
anything.
I haven't watched it yet. I'm not gonna. My thing is, like, I guess I'm kind of waiting for it. Hopefully, that if it hits Hulu at some point. But I'm not gonna pay for another streaming service like CBS to be able to watch the show.
I get that.
I already pay for too many streaming services, and throwing another 30 or bucks at it or whatever it is to watch the show, I can't bring myself to do it. Like, to just watch one show, if there was a bunch of shows that I wasn't able to get, then I might, but I get everything else off of CBS. There's no reason why I shouldn't be allowed to watch this as well. But yeah, so that's my thing.
But Bobby, what do you think so far?
Will say, before I jump into what I think,
Oh yeah.
I will say, Yasha, that if you did want to watch it and watch the other Star Trek show, Star Trek Discovery, which I would highly suggest, you could just do I think, what is it, maybe 2 weeks free trial or something like that, 7 days or something.
Okay.
Do that and just binge it. I mean, there's no crime in doing that.
Yeah.
So
No, it's not.
And there's
You
a
can
lot
always
of
do that.
services right now that are offering a lot of deals, and they're very open to longer, like, complimentary trial time frames right now. And yeah, I mean, you know.
And I think CBS one is, even if you wanted to just keep it for a month, I think, and cancel it, I think it's $6 with commercials and $10 without, something like that. But
Oh, okay.
yeah,
That's not bad.
no, not too bad. But
pretty
back
cheap.
to what I think of it is, I'm similar. Well, maybe mostly similar to the way you guys have seen the entire series. I think maybe you might have had a little bit better benefit. I don't know how far behind you were when you said you're all caught up, but I've been watching it pretty much week to week. So certain episodes I felt like kind of dragged a little for me, where it didn't feel as solid as some of the other episodes. So it made it overall sort of not bad, but just it would have been better if I could have binged it, I think, in certain aspects. And this episode, though, I'm not sure I noticed it in the way that you guys did. I thought there was still a lot of plot development that moved forward with everything and building towards the finale. So I don't think I noticed anything particularly out of sorts with it.
It was more like the pacing of the edit felt odd. That's where I felt like I bumped on things with that episode. That was it. I mean, overall, it wasn't bad, but it definitely didn't live up to, I think, the quality of most of the other episodes.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
And I would agree, yeah, binging probably the whole season would have helped some of those episodes in the middle where they would have just felt like a kind of a part of a bigger whole, which they are, but
Yeah, totally.
I mean, yeah, this show is definitely not like your typical Star Trek show.
No.
Where, they kind of each will really stand on their own. These episodes do not stand on their
Right.
own. This is
Not at all.
basically a long movie that we're watching over the course of 10
Yeah,
episodes.
yeah.
But anyway.
So yeah, Picard, and then yeah, Onward.
Well, yeah, I watched Onward last night, so bought that. I kind of was torn on that one because I'm like, well, in like 2 weeks it's going to be on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it is.
And
Yeah.
and I'm like, well, but I mean, when it comes to movies like that, I'm probably going to end up owning them anyway.
I was gonna say you've got two young kids. When it comes to Disney and Pixar,
I was just like, I'm just going to buy it.
yeah,
So
why not?
I mean, the nice thing is, and we'll get to this in a second, the whole kind of concept of what some of the studios are doing with like the $20 rentals, which I totally get
Yeah,
when you compare it to seeing it in a movie theater.
Yeah.
But you know, they're not doing that here. They're straight up, hey, you can just go ahead and buy it for $20.
Yeah.
Which, you know, compared to me wanting to rent Emma for, you know, 2 hours or 24 hours, 48 hours. It's like, yeah, $20. At least I get to keep Onward.
yeah,
Yeah, watched that last night, and that was good. I wasn't blown away by it. It wasn't my favorite Pixar film, but it was solid.
I agree. I thought it was really cute. I think the humor was done really well in it, honestly, and it was, you know, true to fashion. There was some more not like adult humor, but more like you just need to be more mature to understand the context of some of the jokes. Like, not like they're bad. They're just they're just kind of an older kid would get some of them. Younger kids, not so much.
Right.
But no, I thought it was a really cute film. And I mean, I'm sure everybody's seen the previews. They know kind of the premise of it is these two brothers can bring their father back who passed away for one whole day, but only like half of him comes back. And so they spend the movie with this half of a person. And they do a makeshift other half of a person. So it's kind of like watching a weird, twisted version of Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was great. Like, there was some really great moments of that. And I was like, I'm not hating on the Weekend at Bernie's stuff that's happening right now. This is kind of awesome.
And there's very explicit, straight up other references, stuff that's like more spoilery kind of stuff, but like from Indiana Jones and
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like just almost direct. I mean, but it works. It's
It
funny.
worked. It was great. I thought it was entertaining. It was an entertaining one, and it's something that's a little bit different, a little off the beaten path. And no, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. I think a lot with the mythology stuff, some people are not going to enjoy that portion of it really. But I thought it was fun, and the whole like Dungeons and Dragons references and stuff. Like I thought it was kind of cool. Like it's kind of like a nerd went, "Hey, I want to write this movie, and I'm going to do it like this." And they went, "Okay, sure."
Yeah, if you're a fan of
Anyway.
like Magic the Gathering and
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's
It was fun.
a
It
Disney
was
version of that,
it kind of is.
kind of.
It was a fun film. I'm sure we'll watch it more in the weeks to come
Yeah,
with your kids. They seemed to enjoy it. They were laughing, and they actually didn't seem bored during the movie. Truth be told.
you know, I wondered about this, and I meant to look, and I forgot because when I paid for it, it just started automatically, which tells me
Yeah.
as of right now, there were no like there was no menu or like special features kind of set up for it, which I understand because it was kind of a sudden, hey, we're putting it out. But
I'll have to look at that.
I'll be curious, I guess, at some point later on if it
Open that
updates with
screen.
kind of the opening screen and special features that I assume would normally come along with a purchase of a movie like that.
Right.
But because it was a sudden, hey, it was in theaters and we're just going to put it out right now, it doesn't seem to have any of that right now. But unless it did, and I just missed it.
Well, I mean, we can check it out. I can see. I see what you're saying, though. I doubt that they would. It literally released to movie theaters 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Like they have not
Yeah.
prepared the release, the actual physical release of a Blu-ray.
Right.
Anyways, so yeah. But no, I thought it was really enjoyable. I thought it was pretty cute.
Did anybody else watch it? Anyone?
I got a chance to watch it, and I would probably say I'm right there with everything Michelle said. I don't really know that I have anything else to add to it, but I enjoyed it. I like you. I don't know if it's in the top tier Pixar movies, but I don't think everything necessarily has to be.
No.
It was an enjoyable movie, and I really love the camaraderie between the two brothers and the whole quest aspect of this movie that they go on with everything involving their father. And you know, it's a Pixar movie, so it has heartwarming moments and emotional roller coaster type things involved, and I would say that there's a part towards the end that kind of sucks in a certain sort of way. But I understand, why they did it. But yeah, it was definitely not something I would have expected that they did with that. But I liked it.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. Like, I mean, no, it's not my favorite Pixar. It's not on my top lists of Pixar films, I'll be honest. But it was cute. I had a good time with it, and yeah, I look forward to watching it again and catching more like little kind of Easter egg things throughout it.
I'm guessing you saw it in the theater before it left theaters, or before theaters
Yeah,
closed.
I did. Correct.
Did either of you guys or anybody see a movie in the theaters before they fully closed, like when they were kind of doing the 50%
Oh, yeah.
situation?
Yeah, I did.
You did?
How'd that go?
Yeah. It went fine. I mean, I don't know that I saw it in a particular time that made it that way. If I had, because I saw it during the weeknight, so I don't know had there not been that 50-person rule thing, if it would have been any busier, just because I saw it during the week. In fact, it was whatchamacall, what was it that I saw? I want to say it was The Hunt. I ended up seeing.
And that's streaming now.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, that is streaming now.
Yeah. And so it wasn't, I mean, there was, I would say, maybe a dozen people in the theater when I saw it. So it's not like, and it was, I think, on the Thursday night or the Friday, right before they essentially shut them down. So, yeah, it didn't seem like it was any issue with anyone. I was maybe more surprised that there was more people there in general, and with seeing whatever different movies that they were seeing, as opposed to it being very empty. So there were still people kind of going to the theaters. I don't know, maybe if they had the same mindset that they thought maybe, it's only a matter of time before they might close. So let me get some last minute showings in before everything closes. But yeah, it seemed to go fine, and everyone was respecting each other's space. Everyone was pretty spaced out themselves, other than if they were with someone that they were coming to the movie with. But it worked out pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah, I never caught a movie in a theater during that kind of time frame.
I toyed with it.
I didn't experience that.
I think on a whole, though, like when I go see a movie like on a weekday and it's not like a major blockbuster film, for the most part, people don't sit next to each other
Right.
in general.
I mean, I feel like in the era, though, of reserved seats, that's kind of changed.
It has a little
Because
bit.
you're right. When it was the good old days of just walking in a movie theater and sitting wherever you want, yeah, for the most part, people would at least keep an empty seat between. But now with buying seats ahead of time and reserving them, I've noticed it seems like everyone's just kind of more open to the idea of like, hey, this is probably going to fill up, and
We're going to sit in the center
we're
and
gonna
work our way out.
I know some theaters don't even, I think, let you leave a single seat between. I don't forget who that was. Before I started AMC A-List, I feel like, I don't know if Regal was doing that or something. I don't know. But, yeah. Anyway. So you saw The Hunt. How was that?
I enjoyed it. I think it depends on the mindset you go into that movie, because I went in expecting maybe more of a horror kind of aspect to it, and it's more tongue-in-cheek and over the top and kind of cabin in the woodsy kind of feel to it in a way, where luckily I was able to adjust my perceptions of what it was going to be pretty quickly, because I think other people in the audience that were there kind of caught on to what type of movie we were watching pretty early on, because they were laughing at things, and I was like, is that supposed to be funny? And then I guess I was, well, they kind of swept me into their mode of thinking, I guess, because then I started to grasp it as being sort of surface level in terms of, it got not banned, but it got pulled early based on some political aspect, because part of the concept of the movie is that it's these liberals that are hunting down these conservative people, and so there was this political slant to it. But it's that political slant is so surface level. It's not trying to explore any deep meaning, and it doesn't really take a specific side or try and paint one side with a particular brush and not do it to the other side. So it's all very much tongue in cheek and just very silly. And if you embrace that aspect of it, it's really fun, and it's kind of poking fun at itself in a way. It is, but Betty Gilpin is like definitely the standout in the movie. She's pretty like a badass character in the movie actually. But I enjoyed it for sure.
Cool. And yeah, that's one that is available streaming, like you mentioned, Michelle. But correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, that is a situation where it's like a 2-day rental for $20.
Yeah, it's a rental, and a lot of the studios are doing that right now. Is all these films that have come out recently in the midst of the coronavirus crisis that we're in. They put a lot of them out as streaming, and you just rent them. And when it comes to the movies that are currently out right now and that are coming out shortly, and they're doing this, I like the really releases that were supposed to come out, say like this coming weekend, and they're going to do this, or the next weekend. I do get it. And I think it's actually a really great idea, because if you think like $20 for 48 hours, like most of the time when I go to the theater, it's $12 for me to go by myself. So if I watch the movie with you, that covers $20 right there.
Right.
And I have popcorn at home that's cheap. So it's not the worst idea. I think my concern is like movies that are really coming down the pipeline and they're already considering this. I'm like, whoa. Let's pump our brakes a little bit.
I assume you're referring to Wonder Woman.
I am. Like, I get it. Like, this is a serious situation that we're in, and it's no. I mean, like,
No, it is.
I mean,
sorry,
like,
I thought you were about to joke that was a serious situation about Wonder Woman.
Oh. It's a serious situation,
serious,
David. I am
goddammit.
stressing out. No, I mean, I get our health crisis that we are under. It is a crisis. Like, we are trying to stop this curve, and I get that, and I think it's great. I'm trying to also be maybe naively positive that by the time Wonder Woman 84 comes out, I can go sit in a movie theater and watch this movie, because if I don't, I'm going to be so annoyed at life. It's frustrating
Michelle,
to think that's a possibility, and it makes me cringe.
Well, Michelle, I don't think you have anything to worry about when it comes to that, because in all honesty, I think that they'll just delay the movie. Like,
That's what I'm hoping for.
They're not gonna streamline this and like, hey, let's put it on direct to video and do $20 to rent it or to buy it and stuff like that. I don't think that's a thing with Wonder Woman. I think they made way too much money off of the first one being in the theaters, more than what they expected, as we found out when we were watching it, when we talked about it, as how amazing that was. I think they'll just push it back to be either a movie that challenges the end of the summer, maybe a fall release, or postpone it for an entire year. I mean, look what Fast and Furious did. They said they're just going to wait an entire year.
Yeah, I couldn't believe a year for
exactly.
that.
I don't understand that move.
That's so crazy.
A year.
A movie that's in the can too. Like, it's signed, sealed, delivered. Like, it's
Right.
done. Like, I can't believe they're waiting that long. Like, it's interesting to see how the studios are reacting to this situation. Some are like, oh, well, we'll allow you to rent it at home, and some are like, oh, we're just going to push it back, which I'm hoping Wonder Woman is going to do. And then there's some that's like, we're going to push it back a few weeks. We're going to push it back a handful of months. Then there's Fast and Furious 9, is it? I don't even know anymore.
I think it's the next one.
And
Whatever. They did a whole year. It's like,
year?
what in the holy hell? Like, I mean, they're just banking on the idea that people just are dying to get in there and see the theater, or they just don't want it to fail. Like, if they released it on video on demand, there isn't enough $20 rentals in the world for them to do it. They will literally take a huge loss on that.
Such a huge loss. But I mean, yeah, I guess maybe they're thinking it's not going to compete at the end of the summer and the fall with some other things that are being pushed back, is all I can think, because a year is, especially for something, again, it's in the can. It's done. This bad boy was ready to get
This was
thrown
coming
on.
out in a couple of months. Like, wasn't it? What was the original date, Bobby, to be released for Fast 9?
I think it was May.
I was gonna say,
sometime.
it's the
Yeah, so
beginning
this
of
is
May,
like
wasn't
literally
it?
a couple of
Yeah,
months.
I think it's May,
Like,
and
what do
then
I think?
yeah, it was April something they pushed it to of next year. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think
Crazy.
I had read somewhere or heard somewhere that maybe the reasoning behind them pushing it back is because the Fast series makes the most money overseas, and it has something to do with like the timing of overseas and being optimal uh, when that
Yeah.
release window would be. So, I mean, I guess maybe I can see where maybe they would run into some issues if they try to release later, depending on some of those territories where they think it'll do well. But
Yeah.
yeah, it seems so crazy just for us though to see that something gets pushed a full year when you know it's in the can and pretty much
Oh, it's
done.
so done. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
There's
so done.
there's
I mean, we're
go ahead,
just a
Yasha.
couple of months away. Sorry, I just like you said, it's just a couple months away. Like literally, like if they, I'm just as floored. I mean, it's just like a whole year. When I saw that, I was like, you got to be kidding me! A whole year? That seems a bit much.
I mean, it's all about making those dollars. But there's another film that David's pretty bummed that got pushed back. I mean, it is what it is. But I remember when the news came out, you were like, "Damn."
Well, it was like, I mean, that was one of the first casualties of all this.
was.
No Time to Die, I assume you're talking
Yep,
about.
yep, yep, yep.
Yeah, I think that was one of the first, at least, major movies to get announced. It was getting pushed, and I mean, yeah, it got pushed to what, November? Which at the time I was like, November, really? Can we do September or something?
Right.
And then when we heard about Fast 9 or whatever the hell it's called,
You're like,
I
well,
was
at least I'm
well,
getting it this year.
At least I'm getting it, yeah, in 2020. Because, yeah, the funny situation about that is they were basically moving right into full swing marketing mode.
They were.
I mean, Daniel Craig was already scheduled to do SNL, so he did it.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was a lot of other marketing he had already done. Like, I don't know if they were already scheduled for like night shows or late night shows or anything, but
I'm sure they were scheduled for late night shows, but the
Right.
upside
if
to
they
that
still
is
did them,
that
I mean, yeah.
yeah, the upside to that is even late night shows right now are,
Well, yeah.
you know,
They're
I mean,
done.
Stephen Colbert is doing it from his house.
Right. Isn't the Tonight Show doing the same kind of thing where he's like, they're like FaceTiming or Skyping with celebrities? Like,
Yeah. Not Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Fallon is doing
Right.
it from home and he's like doing it like in between like homeschooling the kids and stuff. So it's kind of funny. He had
I
a
mean,
good.
have you been following Ellen DeGeneres? Like
No.
she's
I've
killing
not.
me. Like, cause all she does is like she is flooding my Instagram feed because every now and then she just pops up there and she just calls her famous friends on her phone, and literally she'll sit there and talk to them for like 3 or 4 minutes and just like talking to them, not about anything in particular,
Yeah.
but she's called Kevin Hart, Jennifer Aniston, Idris Elba. Like she just calls her friends on her phone.
and then, yeah, just the amount of celebrities that are doing live streaming right now is pretty cool. Like
It's
today,
awesome.
Idris Elba went live and I started it right as it started. And I guess he just randomly picked a follower and called him. And a lot of them I noticed are doing that too, that where they're, doing the kind of split screen with random random followers and fans of theirs. But yeah, it's kind of cool.
I think it's cool for him too because he actually got it. He
Right.
actually got the virus, and so he's already kind of. I think he's over the hump of the virus at this point. I think he said, but he's it takes a few days. It's definitely a thing that's in your system. You're short of breath for a while apparently. But yeah, no, it's been fun. Like I actually saw the Gal Gadot doing the Imagine thing, and that was pretty sweet.
So
And then
that also got a lot of shit too.
it also got a lot of shit too. I know that, but the one that
It really did.
Yeah.
did. I was like, I thought it was kind of cool. I was like, but the one I caught that I was really happy to was, and people are gonna give me crap for this because I know if this is a band that you either love them or you hate them. But Chris Martin from Coldplay, he popped up on my Instagram saying that he was doing live concert, that he was live. So I pop in, and he's like, okay guys, I'm just gonna kind of play some songs on the piano and sing to you. And then he and Pink were like I think one of the first ones to do it, and then John Legend did it with his wife. But yeah, I sat there one evening, I kind of turned it on, I was just like, "That's right, Chris Martin, you sing me that song. I'm super okay. I'm super okay with this. Like I'm not mad at it. It's kind of cool that this is happening in a way, and in a way it like brings people together. And I don't know, it's as crazy as the situation is, it's kind of also a really awesome time because we have this technology to feel connected to people that we don't even know. And I mean, there's celebrities like Josh Gad is reading books every night to kids. So it's like they're getting Olaf reading a storybook to them for bedtime.
Right.
And he's live streaming it. That's awesome.
Oh, did you hear what Jake Johnson's doing?
No.
Jake Johnson was in Spider-Man: The Enter the Spider-Verse, and he has offered to kids that are sick and are being stuck at home to call and leave them a voice message as Spider-Man. Spider-Man B. Parker. Peter B. Parker.
That's awesome. See, and that's, I think, the kind of the fun things that are happening, and I think those are pretty cool.
Right.
And yeah, I know Gal Gadot got
this
flack for
if
Imagine,
you're watching
but
the
I
live
think
stream,
it's
this
kind
is
of
definitely my
funny.
favorite meme from that whole situation. The whole it's from Parasite of him driving, what I forget her name, in the back seat, and celebrities singing Imagine, and him with that really pissed off face. All of us, and that was funny. I didn't really have a problem with the whole thing either.
I mean, I saw it live, so I was kind of like, yeah, whatever.
Right.
For me, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Right. Yeah. No, I thought it was fine. It was just, it has been funny, some of the reaction to that one.
Yeah. But like Pink was really cool watching her come on, because she was also just at her piano and she was kind of knocking it out, and that was pretty sweet. And
Right.
I don't know, I've kind of enjoyed the randomness, and like, who was it I was watching last night that popped on? Oh, it was Rob Lowe was just screwing around with his son, and they were playing, what is it, Guitar Hero, and he was doing
that was pretty good.
It was actually pretty funny to watch him. Like, it was, I don't know, it was just entertaining. I watched it for like 4 or 5 minutes, and I was like, okay, next. But it was still kind of cool, because Rob was like, he's like, where the hell's your brother at? And he's like, oh, he's out cleaning that fish he caught. He's like, oh yeah, and like, it's just very like, this is life. It's casual. This is what we do. We're hanging out. We're playing Guitar Hero. And then, like, at one point they're playing, and I look, and I'm like, I think that's his son's friend just hanging out on the couch on his phone. Like,
Yeah.
that's how life is. Like, everybody just kind of hangs out, and it's kind of fun to see that they're. It's like, celebrities are just like us. But I'm like, yeah, it's just Rob Lowe and his son hanging out, playing Guitar Hero. Yeah.
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 My favorite one has been there's this DJ from the 80s and 90s called D Nice. He used to be part of Boogie Down Productions. And he, on his Instagram Live, has been, well, yesterday he did a 9-hour set just playing music. And so many celebrities have popped in on the live that it's been kind of crazy. And he'll shout them out when he sees them in there. And it's been like anyone from Janet Jackson to Michelle Obama, Elizabeth Warren. I think Biden popped in. It's been crazy. And he did it for 9 hours.
That's crazy.
And he's doing it again now. He started at 3
did
and
he?
he's been going on.
Oh,
But it's
man.
been pretty
Check
fun
this
to
out.
watch, because the music is like, stuff I grew up on, and it's just been pretty cool
Right.
to see all the different celebrities that's popped in there. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun seeing what everyone's doing while they're staying at home and trying to make the best of a bad situation.
Right. Oh, here's one that's been doing it, and it's funny he's on right now, is Michael Rosenbaum. He's been going on every night, and like one night he was playing with his guitar, and he was just saying, he's like, tell me a song title and I'll just see if I can play it. Like, he's, having to look things up kind of as he goes, because he's like, I don't know how to play that, and he's like figuring out as he goes. But yep, he's playing his guitar right now.
Yep.
And so like it's he's been doing this like every night. He's like, I'm just kind of screwing around, and he's just having a good time with his fans. And like right now there's only like 300 some people watching him, but he's just having a good time. Like, he's like, whatever, and yeah, I don't know. It's kind of one of those weird things. Like, it does make us kind of all feel connected, and I like it.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Out of this whole crazy effed up thing, stressful, anxiety-ridden situation that we're in, this kind of makes my heart a little warm and fuzzy.
Yeah. But, go ahead. Sound like you were going to say something, Bobby.
No, you might want to go first, because I was just going to ask if you guys had a chance to watch anything else. While
We have. There's something we watched, Michelle, you hadn't seen before.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, I forgot this is going to blow their minds.
No, I didn't really have anything. I was just gonna say, I mean, like, I agree. Everything going on with the everyone live streaming, it's all really awesome. and it kind of helps with the crazy stressful situation we're in. The thing that will be interesting is it's still so early yet. Like, we've only been doing this for
A week.
a week,
2
and some of the theories on how long this could go is, I mean, we're laughing and joking about it, but it's very frightening.
It's scary to think that we could be doing this through May.
You know, or, well, yeah, I mean, who knows how long, and everyone is kind of trying to be happy kumbaya right now, but it's, you know, it'll be interesting to see how the dynamic is and
How things will shift.
in a month,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
wherever
You know,
we end up.
I laughed when you said that because it's true, and it reminded me of something I read on Twitter, and I'll paraphrase because it was a little bit more colorful than I'll say. But basically, it was like something to the effect of like everyone is already going stir crazy after just a few days in at home, and none of y'all would be able to last a week in jail because that's like the epitome of being, you know, in one place and can't really go anywhere.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, I guess that's a fair point. I probably wouldn't last long in jail because I don't have all the amenities that I have here at home. I'm actually, I can understand it though, because you're not used to not being able to leave and go and do things you want to normally do. And you really see how much that stuff is part of your life when it's taken away in a way that you can't really do anything about it. So it makes you feel kind of like there's so many, it's almost overwhelming in a way, because it's like you have the time to do so many things, but it's all those different things you have the time to do. It's like, well, where to start? And so it almost paralyzes you into doing nothing. And then there comes the boredom, and then you're like, well, what do I do? What should I do?
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird.
I think for me, the two things I've already noticed, and again, I realize it's only been like a week for us here, really, of really kind of hunkering in a little bit, is one is just how much I am ingrained and so used to like, oh, I think I need this thing. I'm just going to go run to the store and go grab it and come back home. Like, and so it's like, this has made me think, I'm like, do I really need that thing right now? Or can it wait like a day or two and I can get a bunch of things all at one time and then wait, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's funny to me how I realize, I'm like, wow, I really do just kind of go, oh yeah, I need this thing. And oh yeah, I can get that too. Okay, great. And I'll run to the store for like 2 things and come back. And did I really need them? Probably not.
Right.
And so that's kind of been interesting. The other thing is, and some people's houses are going to be freaking awesome after this quarantine thing, because I ran by Home Depot the other day, and Home Depot was gangbusters, dude. There was a lot of people at Home Depot shopping and getting their paint and getting like project stuff. Like, I was like, people are doing some home
Oh,
reno.
wow.
People are home renoing. They're doing like the garden section was off. Jesus. The lines to check out at the garden section, and people with carts in the garden section full of plants and everything. Dear Lord, I'm like, y'all are gonna have some yards.
I
This
mean,
is
when
sweet.
you're, you know, here we're not necessarily stuck at home here in Florida, but you know, if you're spending a lot of time at home, like we're being asked to, yeah, it's like, well, might as well do a bunch of,
Might as well do that yard project.
home projects that I was putting
Yeah.
off. I get it.
I totally get it. It's just really funny because I'm just like, man, people are gonna have some really awesome home renos happening soon. It's gonna be sweet when this is over.
Right.
People go in people's houses. Hey, you want to see my new bathroom? And knocked it out during the quarantine. Yeah, did you see Josie's kitchen? Fuck yeah, that's awesome. You know, like we showed off their quarantine renos.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways,
You had asked like if we had watched anything else. We randomly watched, which I've seen many times. Michelle, you had never seen before.
never seen it.
So we watched together Inception.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh,
She hadn't
wow.
seen
You
it.
had never seen Inception.
I was waiting for their
Oh, my
reaction.
goodness.
No, but we talked about
Oh, my
it before, so it
goodness.
wasn't that I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's been on my like just never watched list, so it's always one of those films that could always pop up. But yeah, I
Well, it's
watched
been in my
Inception.
mind, like there are certain Christopher Nolan films you need to watch because Tenet's coming out this year, hopefully.
Yeah.
And Yeah,
boy.
I'm like,
Yeah,
man, you
that's
have to
all right.
watch Inception before you see that, and you also still haven't seen Interstellar.
I did not.
But yeah, what do you think of Inception?
So, yeah, I really liked Inception a lot. Like, a lot, a lot. Like, I really, really enjoyed it a lot. And I'm looking forward to the next time I watch it again to catch on to a few more things with it. But I think for me, and, I'm not going to talk spoilers or anything here, but, and I realize this movie's been out for years and years, but it's kind of one of those movies you don't want to spoil for people that haven't seen it. I know that there's, and I'd heard that there's a lot of back and forth on the ending of this film, and people loving it or hating it, or being angry at it. And I'll be honest, like, it ended, and I was like, I was spot on. Good job, Chris Nolan. I thought it was great, and I look forward to watching it again and seeing some things I didn't quite catch maybe the first time, but it's so cerebral, and there's so many things that are going on. It's, in one sense, a lot to take in, and not that it's hard to follow, but it's just there's a lot of layers to it, and I really like that. But no, I thought it was really good. I thought the performances were really great in it, and I think the storyline's awesome. I was down with it. I like me the Inception.
Good.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, that's a fantastic film.
It
Fantastic.
really is.
Good. I'm glad we all agree on that one.
It's really good. It's a really good film.
Makes me happy.
David's like, woo.
Well, I mean, it's always that.
Yeah.
One of the things that's I feel the roughest is when there is a movie that really is close to you. Like, I'm not saying Inception is like one of my all-time favorite movies ever, but it's way up there. That's a great movie in my opinion.
Right.
And whenever you have a movie that you just really connect with, you really love, and then you come across a friend or what have you who hasn't seen it, and you decide, I'm going to share this movie with you. It's more than just like, hey, I think you'll like this. You should watch it. It's like, it's hard not to, I wouldn't say take it personally if that person doesn't like it, but it hurts. Like when you really love something and you're like, oh my God, you got to see this movie. And when it's over, that person is like, oh, actually, I thought it kind of sucked. It's like, what the
Have you ever seen that meme of the person like staring at the other person? It's like me watching my friend watch my favorite movie for the very first time, me making sure that they enjoy it. Like 95% of the movie is me watching them watch the movie.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I've seen that. But no, I mean, if it would bum me out if after that movie was over, you'd have been like, really? That was what everyone was all excited about?
So
no, it just makes me happy that you actually.
Well, what's funny is you see that is like I've always kind of been. It's not that I've not wanted to see Inception. It's one of those like I wanted to sit down and just lights out, sound up really loud, and just be enveloped in the film. And it doesn't happen a lot that I get that opportunity at home to do that, which is why this is so great. And I've been wanting to see Inception. I'll be honest, Interstellar, I'm a little like, I'm concerned about Interstellar, and I feel like this can be when I'm watching Interstellar, and you're gonna be like, "What do you think?" I'm gonna be like,
Well, and I think it's good to go into Interstellar with that kind of attitude because Interstellar is definitely not as beloved as Inception is,
right.
and it's definitely not like toward the top of my Christopher Nolan list. I really like Interstellar, but I understand the people who don't love it. So it's good to go into it with that attitude. I think if you do, maybe there's a better chance that you'll
Right.
enjoy it. Because that's the other problem with doing that with a friend where you're like, you should see this movie you've never seen before. And you've probably heard a million times from a million people that it's amazing. Is when you go into a movie like that with those kind of expectations, it's a lot of times, even
Right.
if it is good, you walk out going, nah, it's not that good, So yes, good point of view to have for Interstellar. You should still watch it.
And I'm going to have more time now. I can do that.
And you saw really quick, and we're almost running out of time, but you saw Emma as well.
I did see him way before this whole thing kind of started.
Yeah, well, right when it hit theaters, you saw that.
I did. Well, once it finally hit Orlando,
Well,
I'll
Orlando,
put it
yeah.
that way, because it felt like they had 5 release dates for Emma. But anyways, when it finally released here, I saw Emma, and I'm a big Jane Austen fan. I love her novels. I've seen other Inceptions of her books. I've seen the original, well, not the original, but I've seen the Gwyneth Paltrow version, Emma, and I really enjoy it. And obviously, I've seen Clueless a gajillion times and can quote Clueless like with my hands behind my back, blindfolded, hanging upside down. Like, but so this inception of Emma, it's really good. It's really, it's hard. It's like I don't want to compare it to the version of Pride and Prejudice that came out a few years ago with Keira Knightley, because I will admit I love that version of Pride and Prejudice. It is so stinking good. And this is a completely different style, so it's like I don't want to compare those two. The way that this Emma is shot and edited is so awesome. I love it so much. Like, it's beautifully done, and it's just so funny because this version of Emma, and I feel like historically, even when I think about the Gwyneth Paltrow version of Emma is a very light and bright story and film, and so it's shot that way. And even if I think about Clueless, it's very, very vivid colors. Everything is very sharp, and this takes it to another level. It's like I think it's just how the story is. It's kind of a more perky story, I guess I could say. Mm-hmm. And so you're watching it, and it's just there's a crispness to the color and the way things are done, and the lines of the way things are shot, and then the editing of it is it's gorgeous. The acting is superb. The script is done really, really well. I really liked it a lot. Now, is it my favorite version of a Jane Austen book to a film? No, but it is up there. It's up there. I think Pride and Prejudice, the Keira Knightley Pride and Prejudice, is going to be my absolute favorites. This is ridiculously close. It's so good.
Nice.
So good. So I highly, highly recommend Emma, which is one of the reasons why we may wind up renting it, just because it's really good.
I will probably rent it because I wanted to see it. I didn't get to see it in the theater.
It's so good.
It's a rental. I'll probably throw some money at the cause of the film.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
No, it was really good. I highly recommend it. And I think, if anybody is deterred in seeing these films, because yes, it's not Old English like Shakespearean Old English, but this is definitely a different level of conversation, and the verbiage is a little bit different. I think that kind of scares some people off, the way subtitles scare people off sometimes. And all I can say is just don't let it, because it just rolls so well. Everything is so good. They're not speaking so quickly, and it's not overwhelming in a way, and it works. And I would hate for people to not see this film because they're like, oh, but it's all like fancy verbiage that I don't like, or no, just trust me, go for it. You got this. It's cool.
Right.
Anyways.
Well, we're almost out of time. Really quick.
We haven't talked about Yasha.
Yeah, I was going to say, Bobby, Yasha, anything else you guys saw really quick?
We should live
talk
stream
about?
again later.
I'm happy to just listen to you guys talk. That's totally fine.
Well,
We should live stream
I'm
again this week. We're the worst.
Midweek
kidding.
show.
This is what happens when we do a hiatus. It's horrible. There's so much to talk about.
I would say from myself, because there's too much for me to go over in the podcast, I've still been keeping up with my letterbox. So if you want to see what I've been watching, and
Ooh.
I think I give a couple sentences of my thoughts on the movies, you can go to letterbox.com/Bojax, BOJAX, and you can see my stuff over there. But yeah, I've been watching things for sure.
Cool. Yasha, anything really quick you wanted to talk about?
No, I really wish that there was something that I could really dive into and talk about. I started Castlevania on Netflix.
Ooh. I've been curious about that
good.
one.
It's good. I mean, it's season 3, and it's just as interesting. You really have to pay attention to the show, though. It's not like something you can kind of just have in the background, because they're doing a lot of talking in this one. It's not so much just the action scenes and exactly what's coming and stuff like that. I feel like they're building to a bigger reveal. Have I watched anything else? House of Lock and Key, but I think I talked about that one already.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
you did.
did you finish it?
I did finish it. I did
Nice.
finish it. I enjoyed it. I felt like it was a little predictable in where it was going, and it was okay. It's very much like a teenage drama type of thing. I was hoping for it to be a little bit darker and a little bit more unpredictable, but I saw where it was going. But I still enjoyed it. And, if they do a second season, I'll definitely probably more than likely I'll watch it. Let's see. I don't think I've really watched anything else. Oh, you know what? I did watch something that I think everybody here should watch. It's the stories of Bill Murray. That's on
I
Netflix.
saw that.
Holy hell, was it good? Like
it?
so much better than what you're even close to expecting. I think I actually watch it again. I think it's only about an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. It's not long, a very easy watch. But I found it rather, and this is going to sound silly, but almost like inspirational. Like, and the way that they talked about him and how they're trying to interpret how he kind of lives his life and what he's doing and how he does things. I found it almost poetic and rather beautiful. And even if that's not how he's doing what he's portraying or what he's really trying to do, I dug the hell out of what they interpreted it in the show and how they talked about it. Enough so that I will definitely probably watch it again this week.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think for me right now, since I know we're going to be dealing with the situation for quite some time, I think what I've basically done this week is I've gone, okay, what are all the like little random shows that I watch that I'm kind of behind on, and I kind of was catching up on all those little shows. I think this next week is going to be okay, what are the shows that I need to start? Like, what should I begin? And so it's like all the shows that I want to watch officially, like start watching them and then binge them.
Yeah,
for
like
me.
for example, really quick, we did watch the first episode of Avenue 5
We
on
did.
HBO.
Oh, I've watched that. I'm almost all caught up on that. Sorry.
No,
That,
no.
that I'm about.
Well,
So like, yeah.
what do you think so far? Or
I love it. Like,
Yeah.
it I hate to say this, but it's like it's a very long play for the jokes that are coming to it. Like almost every time, well, not every time, but there are times when I'm like, okay, you know what, I'm not really feeling this. They do something, and I'm like, you know what, now I got to see what happens on the next episode. But I dig it. It's funny. It's silly. It's over the top. It's kind of dark at times, but I dig dark humor. I like it. I like the show enough that I want to keep watching it. Let's put it that way, and not as a chore, but definitely because I'm into it.
Well, because I will say after the one episode, I was not that impressed. But hearing you say that, it makes me think, well, maybe I should kind of stick it out and see what happens. But I will say that after the pilot first episode, I was kind of
That's kind of how I was with it. I wasn't that blown away by it watching the one episode, and I will say I always have a 3-episode rule. I
Right.
always give shows 3 episodes. If you cannot win me over by the 3rd episode, I'm out. And so I'm willing to give it the 3-episode run, because especially because they're shorter episodes.
yeah, they're just 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to go ahead and watch the next 2 and see how I feel about it. But thus far, the first episode has left me kind of going, it's not the worst thing. It's not bad. It's just not as good as I think I was hoping it was going to be. But we are starting to catch up on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I'll agree with that. Like, but I've enjoyed it. Like, it is definitely something that I enjoy. I dig watching. But like I said, it's very much the long play.
Okay.
Like, it's not gonna be like slapstick and make you laugh almost every single time. You're just gonna be like, holy hell, I can't believe they just said that, or I can't believe they just did that, and it leads into another joke.
Gotcha. Well, we're starting to try to finish up Silicon Valley.
Yeah, I never finished that. It's embarrassing.
But that's what I'm
Because I
saying.
love
Like,
that show.
I feel like this week has been the let's try to catch up on the things we need to finish
Right,
when we
right.
only have like 2 or 3 episodes left of it, which is basically where I'm at. Like I was watching This Is Us the other day, and I was like, I've got like 3 episodes. I was just knocking out the 3 episodes I've missed of This Is Us. Nothing amazing here, but next week is definitely the okay, what show do I want to start from scratch? Like that's gonna be. I think for me, what I'm doing, I'm pacing myself into the situation because I know this is a long ride.
Yeah, I mean, I think not only is it a good time for me to try to catch up on a lot of stuff, but I will say I've been doing a lot more gaming lately
Done
than
so much gaming.
than normal.
So much gaming has happened under this roof.
I even caught the, dare I say, the Animal Crossing bug. I ended up getting Animal Crossing
Totally did.
for Nintendo Switch.
Totally.
And yeah, it's funny because I've heard so much about that game, and there's been a lot of people really excited about that it was about to come out. A lot of celebrities I follow, or a couple people.
Kristen Bell and Jessica Shabbat they love it.
Right. And then the other day I was thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? With everything going on, it does seem like the kind of game that would be nice to play right now. It's just kind of chill.
It is.
Like, I'll give this a shot. And I went to, sorry, I know we really need to finish. I went to Best Buy to go pick it up. I did like curbside pickup. Somebody comes and brings it to your car. And I'm sitting there, first of all, watching the amount of people walk into Best Buy. I was like, this is crazy how many people are going into Best Buy with everything going on right now. And I kid you not, you can kind of tell when people are walking out with certain things, especially if they don't have it in the bag. And maybe half the people walking out were walking out with that game. And I think a lot of people had the same mindset. I'm like, you know what? This would be a nice game to play right now. I've got a lot of free time. It's a free time kind of game.
It's a good game. It's nothing negative happening in that game. It's
Just kind of chill. Get
pretty
away
chill.
to your island.
yeah, it's imagination.
Right. Anyway.
The chill game I've been playing, well, I just started it. I don't do much gaming these days, and I probably, who knows how much I'll continue on this particular game. But I started playing Untitled Goose Game, I think it's called. Something like that.
Untitled
And-
Goose.
Untitled Goose Project or Goose Game or something like that. But basically, you're a goose and you're going around kind of doing these little, like, kind of causing trouble a little bit. But it's interesting and it's very laid back and chill and kind of like puzzle solving in a way. Like, you have to do these little tasks and stuff. It's pretty fun, actually, for being such a kind of a low maintenance kind of game. But it's actually kind of fun.
That's cool. Never heard of it.
I've never heard of that. But yeah, there's a lot of gaming happening. You're doing that.
Well, I do that, and I basically go from one extreme to the other extreme. I'm either playing Animal Crossing or I'm playing Fortnite. Which I get my scenic kind of island life for a little while, and then I'm like, okay, I need to go to another island and just shoot people. It's basically what I've been
Two
doing.
different island lives.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, like your son's gotten into Animal Crossings, and your daughter she used to kind of sort of play with Mario Kart, but she used to be bad at it. But I will say she's really gotten pretty good at Mario Kart now.
Yeah.
She's zooming around. I'm like, look at you completing races, getting up there in the top 5. I'm like, hey now, she's catching on to that.
Right.
It's kind of cute. Yeah, at one point, like, you were playing Fortnite, he was playing Animal Crossing, she was playing Mario Kart. I was like, well, man, I guess I'm going to have to go play a video game. Everybody else in the house is playing a video game.
It's been a gaming household a little bit.
I mean,
Or a
there's
lot
been
lately.
breaks.
There's been breaks.
There's been breaks. Let's be real.
Anyway,
We put movies on.
we do.
But no, it's been fun to kind of catch up on gaming and catch up on like TV shows that I've kind of let go. And like I said, now I'm hopefully going to start new things and things I've been wanting to watch that I just haven't had the time to watch. Now I have the time to watch them now. But I will say I'm happy to hear that Bobby and Yasha have not lost their minds, because they're like legit in quarantine. Like we're still self-quarantining. Like we're still like, it's our own decision basically still
Basically, at least during the day.
during the day.
At night,
until the curfew.
Yeah, until the curfew.
But during the day, it's still our own decision.
when we're done,
deciding for
when
ourselves.
we're done here, we have 45 minutes to run around like crazy outside, and
Run the streets, tag all the walls.
yeah.
I don't know. But,
Yeah. With that, unless you guys have anything else.
Yeah, one last thing.
Oh, yeah, go for
it. In terms of everything that you guys are going to start watching, at some point, I've got both fingers crossed that you will start Breaking Bad. I don't know if you will, but
Bobby.
I had my fingers crossed.
Wait, is
All
that
right.
still a thing? David, is that still a thing? You have not watched Breaking Bad? Is that really still a thing?
Do you really think I somehow fit it in without you knowing, and I watched the whole thing?
Oh, God.
Let's get
That
real
makes me
here,
sad.
guys.
That makes my tummy hurt. Oh, that makes me unhappy.
Well, here's the crazy thing. We almost need to restart season 2 of Westworld.
Yeah.
just so that we're fresh up for season 3's release.
Well, season 3's out. I mean,
Oh my
it's-
God! Well,
Yeah.
then
Like
we're
what,
behind
two
already.
weeks in or so?
Haven't
or-
you seen all those episodes already?
No, I never
No.
watched. We started season 2, but it's like I would want to start
get
season
in.
2 over,
I think we only watched like 4 episodes.
maybe at
Maybe.
most.
I'd have to restart the whole thing, honestly.
Yeah, I would restart season 2, watch that, and then
Oh my God,
then be able to get into season 3.
But see, we could do that this week. Get into season 3.
We could,
How about you watch Breaking Bad?
Whoa, whoa.
how about you watch West Wing?
There's some haterade on
All right,
Westworld.
I'll watch West Wing if you watch Breaking Bad.
You need to get in on West Wing. Bobby has drank the Kool-Aid now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, and you guys are the only 2 Americans left that haven't watched Breaking Bad.
That's probably true.
That probably is true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably is true.
No, I don't doubt that. All right,
West Wing.
Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad. Oh well.
nice. I like the sound of this.
So not happening. You guys are funny.
Totally happening.
So not happening.
Yeah, I know.
If I watch one episode a week, how long would it take me?
Oh, it'd take a while.
It would take a while.
It would take a while. Yeah.
So not happening.
All right. Well, we need to get out of
It's
here.
so not happening. I love that. I heard you, Michelle.
Have some faith.
Not happening.
Come on. I could watch this.
If by some weird crazy world we live in, your job would not require you to be going to it even in quarantine,
Well, that's the thing.
which
Like,
is not going to happen.
and as bad as everything is, and I mean, I am lucky in that I have a job that is in one of the essential sectors, the energy
Yeah.
sector. Like, I probably will not be too affected by what's happening.
You will not be staying at home.
No.
Like, it's not going to happen
No.
for you in the next few weeks.
Things would
Like,
have to be pretty bad where it was like I was staying at home and only being called to go out for like, to, quote unquote, put out fires kind of thing. But-
Right, but that, yeah. So the idea of you getting like a few days to sit at home and like watch Breaking Bad, it's not going to happen.
No. Oh, no. If this were a situation where I could just be at home then yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
for sure. But
Breaking Bad, other stuff, I would be binging like crazy.
yeah.
But that's not where I am. What were you gonna say, Bobby?
I was just gonna say you don't have to like watch it all in one sitting. You could just maybe watch an episode or two.
Right.
Whet your appetite for it.
Yeah.
And fit it in when you can.
I'm definitely curious to watch the first 2 to 3 episodes and see, like, just from those first 2 to 3, if I'm like, okay, wow, I get it. Like, this is amazing.
Right.
Or if it's going to be well, I'll keep watching, but we'll see. But I kind of doubt that. I figure it must, I mean, the way
Right.
that show is received, it must be pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I don't. You might have to read on that because honestly, I think it took me a little while before
Really?
I really. Yeah. I think it was probably not until there's a certain something that happens around episode 5 or 6 that really made me sit up and start paying attention to it in a real sort of way. But I don't know if that's the consensus across the board on the show. But yeah. It did
Michelle,
take me-
am I knowing this right that you've never watched it either?
No, I've never seen it.
Oh my God,
So,
Michelle.
yeah, why do I get all the the brunt of the attack on this?
I've never seen it either.
I don't think anybody's ever given Michelle shit for not watching Breaking Bad.
Bobby has. Bobby has.
I don't know.
Oh, he has.
I don't
You're
think
gonna
I've-
love this show so much, Michelle. It's not even gonna be funny.
We'll see.
Well,
I
with
don't know. Probably won't.
Probably not.
with that, we got to wrap things up. We got to get out of here. As always, we would love to hear back from everyone listening. You can email us at feedback@flickereffect.com with your questions and comments. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter at Flicker_effect and on YouTube, youtube.com/flickereffect. I'm David Lott.
I'm Bobby Jackson.
I'm Yasha Wilson.
And I'm Michelle Hillard.
Thanks for listening.